YUNKJunk!
Everybody, welcome to What Is This Podcast, episode 3, the search for coal and the longest technical setup ever. With me, as always, are the well, not as always, because people keep dropping out of the fucking show. Is Zach and Luke. Zach and Luke, how are you? Catch me up. Let's talk about this scarf look. I dig it. I don't understand it, but I support it.
It's a towel. I'm fresh out the shower, but
Oh.
I thought this was fancier
It's a scarf.
because I watched The Flash and Michael Keaton stays wearing ascots, and I was like, look,
I still haven't seen that. Is it
With
good?
the show.
I like The Flash. People hate it because I don't know why, but I like it. It's one of the
CGI?
funnier films I've actually seen in a long time.
I enjoyed it. I didn't know of the guy, the main character. I still don't even know his name. That's a handsome guy.
Well,
You're
first
talking
of
about
all,
the actor
I
that's famously known for like terrorizing people in Hawaii and keeping slaves in his New Hampshire
I heard.
house.
the person, the human being, they is their name is
Oh, okay.
Ezra Miller.
Okay. So they go
Yeah.
by they.
Yeah, they're a
There you go.
criminal.
Good looking person.
Yeah,
Very good looking. I was
very talented actor.
Actually, you know what? Let's talk about all the good things about Ezra Miller. Number one, Confessions of a Wallflower. Was that him? And was he in that with Emma
He
Thomas?
was. That was his breakout role.
Who's
I
the?
don't
Who's,
think it's Confessions of a Wallflower. You're combining two movies.
but
Confessions
Hermione's
and a
in that.
Murder.
What's her name?
The perks of being a wallflower.
The perks of being a
Like-
wallflower.
one headlight. Is the wallflowers? You talking
I
about
could
the
talk about
band?
that band. They're
Nope.
Bob Dylan's
We're not
son's
talking about
band.
Bob Dylan's son.
Me and
Every time-
Cinderella put it all together.
I think.
Yeah, we
I
could
think
talk
we're
about
about-
music because Cole's not here.
Ooh, I love that. Luke, tell us everything there is about making a beat.
Hey man, it depends on what you like. Depends on, do you like to sample? Do you like to start from scratch? Are you a biter? Are you original?
Well, I'm
This-
not a biter.
You're not a biter.
What's a biter?
Just make type beats. That's
Somebody who's good at something is a biter.
No, a biter is somebody who steals or rips off something. The bite.
Oh,
a style. I like to sample. I'm a sampler, and I only sample. Actually, I've kind of changed that but I like to sample things that are very, very rare and before 1980, and that's just my style. So
Mhm.
I like to.
And you're the only person doing that.
No,
Oh.
I don't know. So I'm biting other people. No,
so biting is like
no.
Simpsons did it. Like same idea. It's like someone already did this. You're stealing from them.
Yeah, it's Vanilla Ice. Ding, 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 ding. It's the.
Well, I just the reason I say it is because, like, you know, there's a wave and people like to ride a wave, and that's the thing with hip hop. People just like, and I'm not don't listen to this white guy explain what hip hop is, but the way, from my perspective, is I've always had this phrase. It was like, waves crash and quality is forever. So quality, you're on a surfboard just floating in the water, watching that wave crash while everyone's on that wave. But so, like, and I don't even really listen that, like, I don't focus on new hip hop these days like I used to, but so I couldn't even tell you what the wave is right now. But
It's a real poop wave. It's a trash wave.
it's a big wave. That's kind of why I don't really do it that as much anymore. It's a huge fucking wave. So many people. Like, the reason why I was able to, luckily I got into it a little bit earlier because Cole got a music program software that called Reason that was expensive and not everyone could get it. And we learned and we studied Kanye and Jay Dilla and like DJ Premier, um, and Ninth Wonder, like just some of the best samplers. And I bit them
You bit him.
until I learned, I put it all together and kind of had my own style.
Put it all
But
together. Wallflowers callback.
every single time that song turns on, Jamie, my wife, is like, "Did you know?" And I'm like, I have to interrupt her. Yes, it's Bob Dylan's son. I know that. I know.
Me and Cinderella.
Jacob Dylan. I think he spells it with a K too, like a cool guy.
Jacob.
Jacob.
This is, it's actually kind of ironic that we bring up Bob Dylan because it's kind of like the conversation that. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if we've already talked about that, but
Well, did you ever explain just like the genesis of why we started a fucking podcast in the first place?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't remember it. Maybe you just talked about it last time, but we're all sitting in from 12 to 4, 5 a.m. at Myrtle Beach, sitting at a table.
Yeah, we're at
and
wing sweating.
Sweating.
We were like, we should start a podcast out of sheer just joking, shits and giggles. And then we were presenting bullshit as what two podcasts should be. And then somehow we got into an argument because, we were talking about, you're like, who's the greatest artist? And I was like, fucking Bob Dylan, obviously, culturally and lyrically, and just, maybe Terry disagrees. Quality over time. And Cole threw a big hissy fit how Bob Dylan was overrated, and we all just jumped down his throat.
No, it actually.
This is what the podcast is.
Yeah. Well, actually, I still believe in that. The podcast should be pissing Cole off because I love him, like just
I'm all for it.
Getting so offended, and then we are like, "What's wrong, Cole? Chill out."
I have this real problem though, where like I know the meanest thing to say to somebody at any given moment. I can't like jokingly give somebody shit because it'll slip out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you've done it yet with me, so
I don't have one mean thing to say about you.
No, I gotta hear it. Come on, what's the mean
really
thing?
I don't.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't.
Oh, you don't.
You don't have one mean thing to say.
Not about Luke. Not about Terry.
Aw.
You guys are both genuinely very sweet people.
What about the way that I'm sitting? Hey guys,
I'm a fan of the foot because you can use it to like emphasize your point. So like make a serious point and then clap your like feet together like that to punctuate it. Just do it real.
Bob Dylan is the most overrated artist of all time.
Yes, exactly.
And they will edit clap.
Foot punctuation. I like it.
Harry used to do this fucking disgusting thing where he'd snap his fucking toes.
I'm doing it like underneath the table right now because I wore flip-flops today.
You've always done it. It fucking grosses me out.
I think I do that. I think I know what you're talking about.
Big toe. He can pinch. He'll like pinch you with his.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would say like foot talents is probably like my number one thing I'm known for. And then video after. Talents? So definitely like toe work, then camera work in that order.
Are you into foot stuff, Terry?
Yeah.
No, and you know what? I wish I was because it seems fun, but I'm not. But it seems cool to have a weird thing you're into. And I'm just so vanilla when it comes to all that stuff. Like, just give me the same flavor of ice cream.
You're missionary face to face.
Yeah. I don't know what else there is.
I say that a lot. I wish I had a foot fetish because it's so easy to like get turned on.
There's other things to get turned on about.
But like you go on the train and there's like a million.
Never call you like a worthless fucking piece of shit. Watch how fast the blood flows down.
Ooh, come on, man! You're turning me on. Chill.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a million other things. Foot fetish is fucking disgusting. I've never put a woman's foot anywhere near my mouth.
There's worse things. There's way worse things.
Well, yeah, okay. If you like getting peed or pooped on, sure. I guess that's worse.
Pee pee and poo poo.
It's much worse.
Yeah.
It's much worse.
It
But
is
you know
worse.
what? Hey,
I
that
think
might
so.
be our fan base. So let's make sure they know they're welcome here at the What Is This podcast and part of our community.
Whatever
We
it is.
can,
Like,
we
subscribe,
could
take a shit, do whatever you want.
We could become
Yeah.
a sex podcast and just dive into the personal sexual experiences of all of our hosts and
Of all of our
or
who?
lack
Did
thereof.
you say all of our
sexual
hosts?
trends. Hosts. Well, I know you think you're the host, Terry, but
I
we're all the
mean,
hosts.
it just feels like I am.
You know,
If it feels like a banana,
there's
it could still be a dick.
I showed my coworker the whatever the little segment, the Where's Pete from last week.
Yeah,
And
that
That was
really
a very
funny.
sad
that
moment.
was so see, like the fact Terry's like still genuinely laughing about it,
Mhm.
and like that moment, your laughter, I showed it to my coworker, and like it was funny until you started laughing, and I could see him start genuinely laughing, and I was like, all right, so it's a little bit of a success here. And I guess the reason why I bring it up is because then he goes, wow, that guy has a really good setup, much better than everyone else's.
Well, yeah, just the quality, the way it looks is amazing. But yeah, because your brother was just a fucking drunk loser in the middle of the day. When his daddy was on the phone, he just reverted into a child.
Dude, when I was watching it as it was progressing, I knew exactly what was going on the entire. Like he called, we didn't know if it was gonna. My dad was gonna answer. I was like, I don't know. The relationship is not like my relationship with my dad. And
No,
then
clearly not. Your dad likes you.
those two are like the exact same person, and they're the most stubborn people for the dumbest reasons. They don't have to be, and they just don't. They don't like just one person doesn't say hey, and it's every now and then they will. But for me, I'm like, I can't ever have a bad moment with a person, and if I do, then I'll just never talk to you ever again. But don't get there. But yeah, those two, man, same exact person, stubborn.
I can be accused of being stubborn too. It's, when you just feel strongly about something, it's hard not to like dig your heels in and go for it. But I also know when I'm wrong. And like if I'm wrong, I will back down. So I know there's
Will
that
you
whole other
ever
lane of
reach out?
stubbornness.
I think that's a great quality in a person, just being able to be like, yeah, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I see
Well, I
that.
think it's easy to do if you just kind of operate off of logic and whatnot. And if someone gives you a logical opposition to what you're thinking and all the pieces match up, you just got to be like, well, yeah. Like, I can't argue that just because I don't like
Yeah.
the way. Just, it's like just because you don't like that someone's right doesn't necessarily mean you should outright reject it. Like, there's something to learn there.
Yeah. I'm not, I've met plenty of people, and no, I'm not speaking about like my ex-girlfriend, in particular. Just I've met a lot of people who are just physically they can't apologize. Like they can't admit they're
Yeah,
wrong.
so
And
like,
they know it. They know
yes,
it.
and that's
They
the
get
worst.
they get real bent out of shape when they know it and dig down worse. And I just think it's an admirable quality just to be like, yeah, obviously I'm wrong. And
Well,
Well,
sometimes
how secure are you with yourself? Like, if you're secure, then you know that you can like move on after you say that you're wrong.
yeah, or
Uh,
just realize being wrong isn't such a detrimental thing. You're not
exactly.
Yeah,
Jesus,
but then there's also the other thing. Like, I used to have a business partner that was like this, like a true, not just throwing around the word narcissist, but like clinical. Because the way it was explained to me is like, you literally can't even see that you're wrong. So even if you like your reality is so
Yes.
different that you can't actually tell
Yes.
that you're not right, and that's why the reactions are so odd and weird. You know,
Yeah.
because it's one thing to just be like,
People
I
that
don't like being wrong. It's another thing to not even see the world where when you do something clearly wrong, it's impossible for your brain to process that you are at fault.
Yeah,
I've dealt with people like that. People that believe in their own lies. That's like one of the most dangerous people in the world. Because you want to just like back them into a corner. But I just I forgot what I was going to say. But
Yeah, welcome back to BetaCast, the show where we talk about how it's hard having feelings and interacting with alphas. Isn't that tough? Man, I wish I was an alpha.
Alphas can admit that they're wrong.
Yeah, especially as everybody who's, an artistic person here. I think that comes with the territory. I have no problem. I hate small talk makes me uncomfortable.
Really?
I can't just be like, hey, yeah, I hate small talk, man. I'd rather just be like, are you in love? Like, what's happening? What's the worst thing in your life? How can I help with my experience? Tell me about the
So
world.
You're talking like I'm at we're at a cocktail party, right? Oh, hey, I'm Steve. I sell insurance. Hi, I'm Zach. Are you in love? Tell me about your love
I have
life.
a little more tact, I know the moment. But I just won't, if I'm like, forced intimacy is my, like, nothing irks me more. Like, I can't handle forced intimacy when someone thinks they know you better than they do, or somebody's like really trying to make an effort to get to know you and you just have no interest, or you're forced to just like hang out with someone you don't want to. And they're just like, oh yeah, I heard this, but I want to just fucking, or like Tinder. Like I've been on all the apps lately, right? God, I hate it. I can't small talk with anyone. Can I read it? Can I read an interaction?
Yeah.
For me, I would go straight in. I haven't dated, and I like never dated really. I met Jamie, that was it. But
because I believe like you can't fall in love with somebody you met on Tinder. I know it's happened. People have gotten married, but like I need the story. I need the romance.
Well, I mean that's not the app for committed relationships. You might want to try like a match.com or something like that.
There's no app for that. There's no love story. It was like, we both swiped right and now we have a life together. You know what I mean?
True.
Like for me personally, I know what's happened. So I just throw out fucking, do you want to get a drink like tonight? And if it's no, then I stop talking to you. Or with this chick, I got a little.
Is it ever no with you though?
Yeah,
you gotta be like your headshot on Tinder.
I used to. I recently, so I'm looking at it the other day, and it was my headshots and like behind the scenes like film stuff, and I was like, this is so fucking. First of all, they're like 5 years old. I don't even look like that anymore, and I feel like I'm trapping these women. So I updated it to like the friendly, goofy angle. And
Tinder trap.
the sexy, goofy headshot.
Yeah, no, not even headshots here. I'll show you the friendly, goofy angle. This is
the friend.
Just like this, he's goofy, but he's good looking. This is my main picture.
Okay. This is
like
this could be
spaghetti.
a POV. This could be your point of view at an Italian restaurant.
I mean,
so this girl,
I would have every picture exactly like that, but with a different food. Just swap out the dish, but everyone's the exact same.
And then like, I used to always think women or dudes were so bad at like opening line, first lines, catch your attention, like something quippy or whatever. And then on Bumble's the one where the women have to make the move first.
Yep.
Or you can't.
Oh, okay. I've never even heard of that.
Communicate with them. It gives the women the power. And it turns out women are way worse at opening lines.
Yeah, they don't have to be good at it though.
Yeah, if you're hot enough, you're right, you don't. But if you're a fucking 6 or 7, you better get cheeky.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're going down this path.
What do you got?
We should talk hard scale. You guys should hear this theory my buddy has on the hard scale.
0 to
He's always
1.
like, he's like, have you ever seen Notorious B.I.G.'s baby mama? He's like, that's a 0.
Oh, God.
And you're gonna look her up after this, and you're gonna be like,
I am.
that's the youngest woman who's ever lived.
Put it in, Dylan. Put it in.
Okay, so me and this chick had like a really great banter, sexual flirtation. Quick, there was a connection, and it was linked up. And then I didn't hear from her for like a couple of months. Then the other night I was just drunk, and I sent her, we should fuck at 2 a.m, right?
Strong.
Okay.
Strong.
Yeah, just you.
Wait, how long did you finger hover over send?
Not long, just bam.
Okay.
I
All right.
didn't care,
No
like, I
hover.
don't care.
No
Nothing-
hover.
You were also
nothing
in
but
Los
looking
Angeles.
at me. Yeah, exactly. So this chick goes, this interaction is great. She goes, wow, you were cute. You were cute up until then, darling. At what point did my profile give you the impression that I'd be okay with you speaking to me that way? There's a difference between being direct and being just plain vulgar. I said, I'm sorry. I truly didn't mean to offend. And my last intention was to be crude. Quite the opposite, in fact. I just know how important and vital the right sexual connection can be. And I know it could be with us. I know
Now you're
exactly.
backpedaling.
Exactly how transcendent and freeing that experience can be, to be free of thought and burden, completely lost in someone. It's important and it's rare, and to find that sort of connection, when you do, it adds an ingredient to your life you weren't even aware you were missing. And I just
You're
know that
still
we would have-
talking?
And she said,
Now you're even more unattractive to me.
yeah, she said, how'd you think that would not come off as crude? LOL. But she's LOLing, so she's not that.
Okay. You got it. You got it back.
I feel like your justification is a little preachy. I said, because fuck is just a word. I use it all the time. If I had said, we should make love, would that have been better? And she said, you shouldn't have led with that at all. And I said, maybe. But it's what I wanted to say. And people who know things that other people don't always come off preachy. She's
Oh
saying,
shit! You turned it around on her, dude.
she says, oh, you're saying that I'm ignorant on this topic, that I don't realize the importance? I said, no, sweetie, of course not. Don't be defensive.
Tweeting.
I'm just saying Jesus came off preachy too. I'm
No
just saying,
fucking way.
I'm just saying, trust me. And she said, wow. I said, it's not that you're not capable, which I'm sure you are, to spectacular heights. It's about combining two things to make one.
There's no way what you're talking about at this point. Like, what do
Did
you
you just bring up the Lord?
Don't bring Jesus into Bumble. Come on, man.
You call me preaching. I'm just saying, anybody
Buzz,
who knows
buzz.
something,
It's me, Jesus.
they come off preaching.
Oh, I'm losing it right now.
She said, based on how you've gone about all this, I don't want to combine with you. Do me a favor and show this combo to another.
Ew. What a weird word. Combine.
I was combined that
Ugh.
weirded me out too.
Yeah, but it's it's about body and mind and soul.
Yeah, on
I
Tinder.
just immediately started sex.
Trying to combine some holes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
She said, hopefully then it will click where this all went wrong. I said, nothing went wrong. Nothing wrong with honestly expressing yourself and your desires. No was always an option you had.
You had a line there you could have used. You could have said, ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
A little fucking grind.
She said, I'm sorry. I thought that was apparent when you saw
Who
my
would
initial
stay
response.
in this conversation?
Yeah, she's still going.
She wants it. She fucking wants it so bad. I said, I'm
But the
What?
funny thing is, if she responded with yes, none of that conversation would have happened. It would have just been,
It would have been like,
You
what's
wouldn't
the stress?
yeah, I know.
Let's go to Fucktown.
Oh man.
Anyway, I hope you find what you're looking for and all the best. I said, I only said it because I knew you would understand. I didn't know if you'd like it or not, but I knew you would understand. She said,
You don't even know her. You don't even fucking know her.
yeah, act like you do. She said, I don't think any woman would appreciate that when dating apps are already so infiltrated by that behavior by men. I could have let it slide, probably.
Do you have a picture of this lady? Because I'm picturing brunette, giant sunglasses, and a T-shirt that says like "chicks."
Fucking loser.
Was that a Jack Black from Orange County?
Go.
Orange County.
Go.
I don't know. It's like a fucking loser with a big old hat that goes "Boo, whoop."
All right,
I don't know, a shirt that says "loser."
Who, me?
Can't do. I did loser, Terry. You gotta do a different one.
I did the "boo."
Oh, Jack Black.
Got a big old hat.
What does he do? I take a bang down. That's all I can think of with him.
That's it. Remember, we got they're one word impressions. If somebody does an impression, you have to go around the horn.
Okay.
That's a segment. Loser. I'll show you her picture at the end. It's fun.
Okay. You gotta blur her face though. Maybe we put it in.
Yeah, if you put it online, we'll blur her face. She said, I could have let it slide, but the way you went about explaining yourself and justifying it, and then going on to basically mansplain to me.
Shit.
Yeah. This is where I got soft. Mansplain to me was and is completely turn off and ultimate the red flag. And I said, I was only explaining my desire for something bigger than myself. I went back and read our first interaction and the spark that we had. Maybe that's what led me to believe I would get the benefit of the doubt. Explaining your desire for something bigger than yourself. I don't think that starts off with saying we should fuck.
I forgot about it.
I said, fair enough. You got me there.
I'm coughing up my brandy right now.
Your brandy?
Yeah, I'm drinking brandy.
All
all
right,
I have.
you ready for this woman?
You got another one? Is this a new one? Oh.
She's a redhead.
Hadley.
So she's an actor as well.
Yeah.
I think she's
a dancer. Yeah, she's a dance
Yeah.
she looks like
model.
a dancer, and that's why I just thought
You want to stay away from that.
Yeah,
you were drunk. You were drunk.
You never want to combine two performing arts people together either. Like one person's got to be the performer and one person's got to be the observer, or it doesn't really work.
I never did that. Maybe in college some dancers. She's very pretty. Is that natural red?
I've slept with this woman. Okay, I know who this.
You
woman
did. You did.
No, not her, but this. You know what I mean? I slept with that girl. I know who that girl is, and I know she's a certain level of attractiveness, but weirdness, but artistic to the point where she's a fucking freak. And I know I'm something certain in her mind. She has an idea of who I am, but I'm not actually that. But I'm just promised those ingredients. I just know, and that's what I was trying to say to her. But I was mansplaining.
Artist in the streets, freak in the sheets. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I just like, like when a girl, hasn't been with somebody who's confident and masculine to a certain degree, and they're just like, oh my God,
Okay.
No,
maybe she has. Maybe she has. I don't know.
No, she hasn't. I promise you. But she wants to be. She's gotten close. She's had a taste. I'm just saying I could release this woman. I could free her.
Release her from her prison.
Yeah, her sexual confine.
Well,
yeah. It's been for me. It's been well over 10 years, so I have no idea what you're talking about. I've been with the same woman.
That's amazing.
And I sit like this.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about impressing her or coming off as attractive.
Honestly, once I started dating somebody seriously, the nicest part was like that part of my life I don't have to worry about, because it can take up so much of your time and energy, just like going out, finding people, doing that, having it consume your brain. And it's nice to be like, all right, I could just focus on work and that's kind of it. Like I don't
Yeah.
have this other thing that I have to strive towards or anything like that. So it's just nice to be released from that personality type that I was for 20 years or whatever of being in the
It
streets.
does change your personality. It does. Like if you feel like you're in a drought or whatever, I remember that in college. Go ahead. Go.
Is there a
Question.
question? Is there a question?
I have a
Yeah, no,
question.
I want Zach to talk more about this.
So you're saying in committed relationships that you're
I'm
in,
listening. I gotta pee. I'm listening.
you don't find other women attractive or have sexual desires for other women.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there's no
Okay.
energy put forth.
Right. You're not pursuing or putting it into reality, but you're out, you see a hot chick, she gives you a look, you exchange a glance, you don't do anything, you move on. You're telling me you don't play out that fantasy in your head right there?
No, not
Of what
really. Although not
you
really,
haven't
but
done.
that might have more to do with just getting older and like that not being the top priority anymore. That just might be like a loss in testosterone or something like that. But it's just
It
nice
could
not
be.
to, you would lose like 2 hours a day on like apps and stuff. Any downtime you're swiping. So that
Oh my God.
we have a new
I don't even know
guest.
that lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right, he's in it. He's in it now. It's canon.
Cannon?
Canon. That's like
Like out of a
you
cannon?
ever heard of that? No, CANON. Like it's part of our story now. Like
Yeah.
and you
That's
can't get rid of it.
That is so adorable that it offsets all the sex stuff we just did with Zach. The cute stuff. That's like the ultimate relationship thing. We have a new
That is
guest. Hi, Cannon.
And then I got baby toys right here next to me this entire time. That's my fucking life, man.
Yeah,
Speaking of
what's that
canon,
like?
Yeah, what's that like, man? A lot
It's
of fucking.
Are you
It-
so you're exclusive with this baby? You don't want to keep hanging out with other babies?
yeah, I've the going on the apps and stuff, it just takes up like 2 or 3 hours of your day for babies. So
Yeah, I
like,
mean, swiping on Goo is pretty tough.
that's good.
Maybe not one.
On Goo. It's like I don't want to hang out with this baby. This baby's a pilot. Very cool.
It was 2 in the morning and I was drunk one night and I I messaged one of the babies. I said
Ew, you sick fuck.
she
And it was
said I
like, hey,
mansplaining.
will you raise
Dadsplaining.
me? And I was
Yeah,
like,
you're like, "Can I
well,
get
normally I
fed?"
like to know a baby a little more before I raise it, but we could see where it goes, Just don't come on
Hey,
too
I
mean-
strong with your baby energy because, I'm a sensitive soul. Here's a baby who
unlock
paints.
her, unleash, open her. What was it? You can
Trying to free her.
Trying to
You're
free
telling me if
babies
you
from
saw a
their damn
baby-
cribs.
I wanted her to have a transcendent experience, something bigger than herself.
Well, I never got to have a transcendent experience.
You've never just like been lost and so intoxicated off of a sexual relationship.
No, just off of alcohol.
There's other ways to get there.
I love this cat in the frame. Like this is.
Yeah, I don't. You might even be able to hear it if you like listen closely later on. But he was just screaming outside the door, and then I went to the bathroom, let the door open, and he jumped right on the bed.
Honestly, he came right up and like took your spot, like front and center. It's pretty funny.
He's like, I think he's got like OCD. He's just like obsessed. He doesn't give up from my
So-
pets.
For future business, this has been this is maybe one of our best just natural conversations, but I do desire to stay in the lane, and we can talk about it.
Yeah.
If everybody's not interested or they want to do something else, let's talk about it. But finding out what that the game is, and I think the game should be that fucking everybody, whether how sincere, if it's a bit or whatever, I think we play it sincere of like, here each week, everybody comes with the topic of what they want the podcast to be.
Sure.
And then they explain segments and how the podcast would work or bits or whatever. And we essentially, fight for who has the best take. You can join sides,
at least start with that.
What's that?
At least start with that, and even if it turns into the conversation, a type of conversation that we had, it's fine. There are so many podcasts where you're like, oh, it is a theme, but then they just talk for the entire time, and you still enjoy it.
Right, that's the best stuff. But we have to, put it in like the vein of this search for what is our podcast about. And then we let these beautiful tangents flow where they may. You know what I mean?
I've always likened this back to, literally some of the funniest moments of my life. Certainly Zach's been involved in. And I just, it's weird to do like a memory show, but I think just coming up with something humorous from the past that either we were all or not all a part of that we can like take apart would be important to me, or even something just that week that was really funny. But I think everybody should bring to the table something that made them cry with laughter, something that provided so much joy and laughter that, you want to share it. That's certainly something that I want. That's also why I like the impression game a lot, because it does make me laugh quite a bit. I'm fine to go down the road of some more serious or sensitive things, but I definitely want to make sure we all bring something funny to the table each week. I also want to make sure we're all here each week.
Yeah, most importantly. But I do if somebody doesn't show up, we just spend that whole episode shitting on them.
Yeah, it's like a punishment cast.
Yeah. Yeah, Terry, I think everything you just said, like the joy, the funny shit, like I think that comes out of like the
kind of debating,
put behind your argument. And you can make your fucking topic and your segments as goofy and stupid or sincere as you want, but you have to come with like, no, guys, I figured it out. This is what our podcast is about. Trust me, like I've got it. Like we can stop searching.
We can
like,
do a countdown clock too.
A countdown clock?
Yeah, for like each person only gets, 5 minutes to explain their pitch, or less, or 2 minutes to explain their pitch, and then it stops and goes to the next guy. For like the what is this about?
I like just seeing like an hour countdown too, so we all can kind of like feel when there's like 5 minutes left, because I think our ending should be like either we've come to like agree or we come very close to agreeing, but we never actually agree. And we're like, all right, well, we'll figure it out next week or maybe next week. And we, that's our sign off.
Yeah, we got to pick one. We definitely got to pick one, vote on it. I mean, there's 4 of us. We can add Dylan to it.
Yeah.
And then
Dylan could decide. Well, Dylan, we're switching this up where Dylan's probably going to, Dylan will do the editing still. So he can always in editing decide which one is number one.
I think I like the voting thing, and then it's like, all right, well, maybe next week, and then it's just fucking cut out.
Wait, why can't we just vote amongst ourselves? Because if it's 2-2, or unless everybody picks their own thing, so the rules should be like you can't pick your own thing.
That would be fun.
Well, that could also be part of the calling Pete. Pete could pick.
Pete's picks.
Pete's picks.
I could make a graphic like with his face smiling, and it just says like his answer.
Yeah, we should get a graphic of Pete, and then when he's on the phone, like it's just like,
You know where a lot of this, I'm just thinking about like where we started the podcast, we're talking about where it came from. There's another piece to that story. One, we were all there at a wedding reminiscing, but I distinctly remember saying to Luke that I missed Pete and I wish that he was there. Then the next morning, you and Cole were sitting, or you were sitting on the couch, Zach, and you were talking about something, and I independently pitched it would be a good podcast if it was just about figuring out what the podcast is. And you lit up because you were also high as a kite at the time. And you were just like,
Yeah, it's
and you were like,
insane.
did you tell him? And he's like, no, I swear to God, I didn't. So we independently came to the same thing. And even the thought of having Pete be a part of it was all from that family wedding, which I still have video footage of and have to publish at some point from my pal.
I remember. I actually remember you asking about my dad. I think somebody else did, and I was like, yeah, you guys. I could tell you respect my dad to the point where I was like, okay, well, let me add my dad to this thing so we can kind of disrespect him over the thing just as a joke, and just hang up on him.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you what I can do with that guy, Pete Charbonneau.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool to evolve that bit into, within the theme.
But yeah, Zach told me about how you guys basically had the same exact idea. It sounds like everything just came together, and I honestly think that it is working. And I was so pissed last week that I couldn't make it, and I look forward to this.
Me too.
I'm nervous, really fucking nervous because I've never done it, but I'll get better. But I love it just gives me a little bit more like purpose, even though I have I'm a fucking father and that's basically all I have. But now this is it makes me happy. And then I go through life like, oh, I just talked to my fucking bros last night and I'm social and I feel confident and I don't know, I feel good.
Hang out with that fucking baby all the time, man. You need a different. I'm trying to
for real.
help you transcend, feel something bigger inside your body. I'm trying to fill you up.
What did you say about her? Trying to open me up or trying to?
He said, try to fill you up.
Trying to fill me up and unlock me.
I really like it too. I know, Zach and I went from talking every single day to like taking years off at a time. And now it's so fun to connect with you guys every week and just shoot the shit like the old days. But also like, we're all so different than when we were kids, yet somehow have the same sensibilities. So it's nice to just see that some things don't change. And yeah, I look forward to it too.
I think we all have something to provide. We're all entertained.
We're doing. I like it. It's cool. Good time talking with my friends.
Yeah, see, Zach changed a lot because he turned into a Middle Eastern man over the years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when he went with the towel scarf, that definitely changed things up on the podcast. This is like a behind the music on our third episode of like when it started going to Zach's head.
I'm wearing a shirt.
He started showing up in crowns and not wearing shirts.
Yeah.
I just Indian stuff makes me laugh so hard, man. Indians in general. I think they're a hilarious group of people.
It's an interesting culture. I worked with an Indian guy and basically worked with his family, and they're very interesting culture. I don't know. It's like you take care of the parents first and the older people first before the kids. Like the parents, they experience life. This is a whole other thing that we could talk about. Maybe that'll be my pitch next.
Yeah, save it.
Luke's perspective.
Fucking save it, bro. Like I think maybe the podcast should just me like reading my Tinder interactions.
I mean that's not a bad bit, to tell you the truth. That wasn't that had some legs.
Dude, Dude, I was making me laugh.
Fucking legs, and that's what I was trying to get her to I was trying to get her to wrap those legs around my fucking and my. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Tiny Tinder talk.
Explaining something to her.
Dude, I mean, I get that you were being, 100% true and honest and wanted to have a soul connection with this person and show her a freedom she's never known with your penis.
With my dick.
And there's only one way to go about starting that conversation.
It's have you ever squirted?
And you've definitely done that before. I already know it. I know
Daily.
it.
I heard that's not
I gotta
even
go.
real.
Oh, okay. I think next week maybe we talk about, because I watched all 3 Star Treks yesterday in one day, and I think I got a lot of Star Trek I want to talk about. So maybe next week the podcast is just we talk Star Trek.
Okay.
Con. Wait, which ones? You Shatner
New-
or you're talking JJ?
I'm talking Chris Pine, who's clearly the best Chris of all the Chris's. Let's talk about Chris's. You want to get into Chris's? Maybe next week.
Probably. You're probably right. You're probably right because Hell Over High Water, that just made me look at that dude in a whole different light.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah. Your boy can act.
When you guys talk movies, I'm gonna just sit because I don't know movies. I know. Actually, I'm gonna call you later and be like, "You never asked me about music."
Yeah, we did.
That's not a bad name for the podcast. You never asked me about music.
Yeah, watch Hell though if you haven't seen it, Luke, and your daughter will love it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, actually, seriously, send me. Maybe we'll do it in the group chat. If you want, just like send a movie. I'll watch it. I watch movies on Sunday, but I watch fucking like
You know what?
Indiana Jones.
We could have homework.
I'm gonna send you guys. This could be a cool segment too. I'm gonna send you my script, and you can read my movie I just finished, and then a podcast where you guys just tell me how great I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, get ready. I'll tell you how great you are.
But okay. You can only talk about how good or bad or interesting the script is based on the title page. You can't actually read it. It's just the title page. You have to figure out what the story is, why it's great, what he did well, what he could work on, but just off the title page.
I love that. I even kind of like the idea of like, if we ever all did vote on one at the end of an episode, we have to do like a satire version of that show the next time. Like we actually commit the whole show and do the characters of whatever was, that won the pitch. Like people to agree on one, and then we literally do that show the next episode.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We're like, it should just be a fantasy football show. Like the next episode, we just satirize.
Oh, okay.
I always thought that was a cool idea for the show too, of just making fun of podcasts. Like we just pick a different famous podcast and we satirize it or we make fun of it.
Listen to it for a week, get to know it, and then make fun of what you find out. Make fun of the characters,
or
we
review it in real time. So like we find a podcast that's already at 1,000, we go back to 1 and we review just what we thought of episode 1 of another podcast, and we just go all the way through.
Yo, that's kind of hilarious too. You do a rewatch podcast of a podcast that only has like 1 episode, and each episode you review the review, and so it's like this snake eating its own tail thing.
Exactly.
We only have 1 episode, but we just keep reviewing the reviews.
I feel like Bo Burnham sort of did that.
Right, when he did it for 1 clip.
Oh, that was really funny where he's like watching himself watch it. Yeah. He's watching himself watching himself. Yeah.
Intern song. I fucking love that.
I love that guy. I think he's so brilliant. I think he's probably our generation's voice that like will be around for 40 plus years.
Howard Carlin?
Carlin's?
No, I'd peg him more as I think he's going to make hugely important movies and things down the road. He's more like our Woody Allen.
Ooh, all right. Well, on that note, maybe next week, fellas.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
You want to check in with Pete before we go?
See you guys.
You want to check in with Pete before you go?
I'm feeling But next week, I feel like we're gonna land on it, guys.
We're gonna make fun of Cole for not being here.
Are we doing a Pete?
Yeah, we gotta get a Pete.
You
Gotta
wanna
do
do
a
it?
house Pete.
Okay.
Also, if
Call
anybody has
Pete.
Gallon, I think the show should just end. Like everybody has to just leave.
Why?
Oh, because you know he raped his kids.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Is that still the news? Luke, feet up, feet up. Got to see the feet. No, the feet.
Your gross ass feet.
What's up, Pop? How you doing? How's your day? Oh, okay. Well, bye. I
Oh
don't
no!
fucking care. I don't fucking care, dude.
You're like maybe Pete was having a hard. You should call him.
Yeah, that's how Pete
he's
is.
Like he was asking me to keep talking. Now, man.
Nah.
No. Fuck
Sorry.
it, man.
This is my art. This is my art. I call my
Yeah.
dad and I don't talk to him. This is art.
But maybe call him back. You know, off.
Yeah,
off.
no, no.
All right, no Cole. The best show yet.
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty good. I
Maybe-
enjoyed it. I had fun.
This week
All
we're
right,
talking about
everybody.
like elimination process, like we kick people off the show.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
don't. Yeah.
But then we had to vote for who we're gonna add to the podcast, like my cat or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or your baby. Those are really the
Oh, my
only other.
baby.
Yeah, baby
No.
baby cast I think could be a real thing.
We gotta get Pete in here for an episode.
I think that we save it for 100. And even
Episode-
then, we just cut the
Pete.
Zoom feed.
All right.
All
love
right.
it.
Well, I'm gonna end this podcast with a clap of the feet. Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Bah.
I love you
see
all.
guys.
Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye. Everybody left. Everybody left prematurely. That's what life is, though, isn't it? Being the last person on the podcast with your friends makes you think, maybe I don't have friends at all, but I do have viewers. Thanks for coming to our podcast. Fuck.
YUNKJunk!